Okay, recording has started. Give us just a moment. It usually takes about 5 seconds, and we are recording. Welcome everybody to our PM session to talk about all your experiences, victories and challenges. We want to hear it all. Go ahead, Cricket, the floor is yours.
Hi guys. So I'm just going to have Bernadette, if you don't mind, just maybe calling everybody out one at a time. If you could just share with us the city you're assigned to, if you were able to look at all the information about Sounds of Autism, if you had any questions, and then did you have and connect with your resource center? If you didn't have a resource center, did they have like a supplement, or who did they suggest? Just give us a little bit of feedback. And if there's anything good, bad, or ugly you would like to tell us about that.
Okay, give me just one moment. I want to pull up an opportunity to take some great notes. So yes, okay, so since Chelsea was the first one I saw on screen, Chelsea, you want to go ahead and go first? And you can turn on your camera, that'd be great.
Can you guys see me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Chelsea, and I was assigned the city of Goodyear. So I did reach out to the resource center. I think it was called like Goodyear Cares or something, but nobody actually picked up the phone the 3 times that I tried to call last week and this week. So I left an email and no one's got back to it yet, so I'm still waiting. I might send up a follow-up on that. So I was kind of looking around the Goodyear website, and I did get in contact with Jeremy. He's like the community engagement coordinator in the neighborhood services, and he referred me to 2 other people that we could pretty much be working with. I contacted one of the phone numbers that he did provide me with, which is, I think he's not the owner, but he's like in charge. I think he's like chief executive of the Phoenix Group, and they're another disabilities organization. But then there was this lady who picked up the phone. She said that she would leave a message for the CEO and the director of that organization. So I'll be hearing from them soon. And then the other person was this doctor. I forgot his name. It might be Dr. Ron. Is it Ron Tilley, or I might be mixing up the people.
I think you're right.
Yeah, he has like an academy for autism, I think, and so both of them are going to be working together. But he kind of told me there isn't really a resource list that can be provided to me, which I kind of already like figured out on my own. And he said the best thing that we can do is attend the Goodyear community roundtable that happens the second Tuesday of every single month. And I think you guys might have brought that up the last time that we spoke. So I might go to one of those, and we'll see.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And just so you know, so once we get done and you guys all go through it, I'm going to just kind of repeat the reasons that we're doing it the way we are. There's every step that I set up for the next 10 steps has some type of purpose. And sometimes you'll think it's a purpose for something that we want, but it's really just watching how you how you responded to it, or how you strategically plan to find those resources or whatever it is. And we'll go through that, but I just want you guys to know that a lot of the things that you're doing is to kind of show us some things about you as well as our community. So, thank you for continuously looking, because we obviously in that city need a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
So good job. Okay. And did you have any, did you get to see anything about Sounds of Autism, or do you know a little bit more about us?
Yeah, I looked over the website, but I did have a question about the intake sheets. Is that something that you wanted us to do on like an Excel spreadsheet and send it over through email, or on like a Google document?
So we sent you guys, I think we sent an Excel sheet as well. But if you have the intake sheet and you don't have access to Excel, you can just send them to us and then we'll input them. But we're going to try to put everything on one, so that when we send them out to all of these cities, they have the same information, individual, city, as well as a collaboration.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bernadette, you can keep going. Like when they're done, you go ahead.
Awesome.
And just,
great.
you're the boss.
Okay. let's see here. I'm going to go next with Cameron. You are up. If you have video, that would be great.
Hi. So
Hi.
I'm Cameron, and in my city, I actually had a subcity of Phoenix. I had the Phoenix Cesar Chavez Library, which was really fun. I called them, and then they had me like transferring between people because it is like a subset of the Phoenix Library. And so then I finally got a hold of the manager of the library, and then her name's Sabrina, and she seemed super excited to like learn more about it. And then when I was asking about her programs, a lot of them had been shut down due to COVID, but recently they just opened up a story time where the parents like can supervise. So I like thought that was like interesting to see how that can be like applied. And then she actually did not have any research or resources that she could recommend to me, but then I'm still waiting to hear back on anything she potentially has found along with like the attendees list. So I'm still waiting on that, but I'll forward that over right as I'm done with that. And then I have done some research into the sounds of autism. And then I don't have any questions, I believe. Oh, wait, actually, no, that's what it was. So for the Excel intake sheet, it doesn't have the Phoenix Chavez or Cesar Chavez library on it. So I wasn't sure. So I just sent the like form instead of the Excel sheet because I didn't know if you wanted me to add anything onto that.
You go right ahead and add it. That's, you guys are our pilot program, so you're showing us everything that's missing. We won't know until we execute, so we love that. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it, just send it with that note, and then Bernadette and I will update that.
Okay, perfect.
Good job on that, by the way. That's super important because Phoenix has 4 resource centers. So, you know, that's good, but at the same time, it's bad too, because then everybody's like, oh, they can do that. And they can, and now everybody thinks everybody's doing something, and really they may not be doing anything. So we, you know, obviously she doesn't know anything about a resource for autism or mental health. That's concerning, you know, being in the city of Phoenix, you know what I'm saying? So those are good things. This is putting it top of the mind that this is important, especially if we're going to have law enforcement starting to share this as a resource place for law enforcement to go, because that's where they're going to go for crisis intervention. So that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, and also I just want to add to that, Cameron. You were talking about the Excel spreadsheet. You also have an intake sheet, so you can complete that too. If that's easier, you can do either or. I know that Cricket gave you guys the option, so the intake sheet might work better for you because it's just a fill in the blank type thing. But also for those of you that do have the Phoenix resource centers through a library or a different location, there are 4. Now, we didn't give you that initial information because we did want you to do your research, like Cricket said. So those 4, I will tell you, are supported by First Things First. They are funded by First Things First, and they are meant to support families for early intervention. So I wouldn't necessarily expect them to know mental and behavioral health yet, but I would expect them to know early intervention resources. So that's a little tip there for you, you know, as you continue to dig for additional information, FYI.
Okay.
So if you go to, yeah, so if you go to, if you look up Phoenix Resource Centers in Arizona, it will actually pull up, and you got to dig for it because I had to dig for it myself. You're going to have to dig for that website, but it'll actually list the 4 different locations, and it'll tell you that they are funded by First Things First and what they do. So little FYI, maybe you can go that route.
Okay,
thank you.
I'll look into that for sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And what resource center did you have, Cameron? Which one was it?
The Cesar Chavez.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, next up is Mr. Grant. How are you today?
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry.
You're okay. Are you good to be talking to us? I didn't know if you were driving. You're good? Okay.
Yeah. So I got the Tolleson, city of Tolleson. I tried calling. I tried looking online for a resource center. Then I just kept all the information kept leading back to community action. So then I tried getting a hold of them like 3 times last week, and then finally I got a hold of the director yesterday. Santiago Cornejo.
Yep.
And then he said that currently they don't have a resource center in the city of Tolleson or any information like that. But he said they had a connection or a program with the 211 organization, 211 AZ. So he just told me that's where where they referred to people that may needing help with mental health or things like that. But they currently don't have anything for people that live on the spectrum. And he said, but they are starting a program, and I just gave him our information, and I got his email, and from there he said, but that's where they got all their information referred to people.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And I do have a connection possibly to offer you at a later time that might be able to support you. But the Tolleson community, that mayor is 100% on board, and they are a very unified community. They do care about the autism population. I think a lot of their city council have autistic kids. And so, you know, I know that if they're not doing it the way they need to be, they definitely want to. So your help is very critical. So thank
He
you.
did say they're on the process of starting a program for something like that, but he said that they haven't got it rolling yet, but they had ideas. So I just got his information.
That's great. And then Grant, did you do any research on Sounds of Autism? Do you have any questions or concerns?
Yeah, I did my research, and I don't have any questions at the time, but it was just how I submit the information. I just used the Word document, and all the information that he gave me, and I just put it in there. I didn't know how to work the intake as well, so I didn't know what you guys needed for that. So I did put his information in that as well.
A lot of this doesn't have any rules. We want to see how you use the tools. So good job.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect. And like Cricket said, doesn't have any rules. So towards the end of this program, we'll recap and take a look at everything and see what we can improve on, because we're relying on you guys as well to share with us how we can better help you and mentor you and go through this pilot program. So thank you for that, Grant. Okay, let's see here. I have Haley. Haley, you are up. How are you today? I don't know if you have microphone or video, or maybe challenging coming up. Maybe you can type in the chat. Let me see chat. Let me see. There's something in the chat. Bear with me one moment.
Mike is acting weird. I'm so sorry. That's what she said. You
Okay,
know what,
we'll come
Haley?
back to you.
Yeah, just type in
Okay.
whatever and we can read it for you. Not a problem. And then we'll just go on to the next person, Bernadette, and then we'll come back to Haley.
Perfect. Yeah, Haley, go ahead and type that. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and move on to the next person so we can keep things moving on. Okay, so Lexi, how is your camera and video, camera and microphone, video and microphone working today?
Hello, looking pretty good. So I had the City of Surprise. I did call them. They didn't get back to me, but I actually went and ended up going in person as well. They didn't have a specific area for the autism population, but they gave me like a little pamphlet. I kind of just looked through the different things that I like highlighted everything that was related to things with different mental disabilities. And they did have a few resources that related specifically to autism. So I kind of just wrote those down in a big thing. And I ended up calling she was a supervisor, and she kind of didn't seem interested in like what we're doing. I was trying to I was explaining and everything, and I just feel like she just wasn't really being as professional as I thought she would have been. And so I told her, like, I'll give you a follow-up email, just let me know about different things. So I did end up emailing her, and she hasn't gotten back to me. But I did get that little pamphlet, and I just went through like the different resources and stuff like that.
Do you know what her name was, Lexi? Just so we're aware.
Her name, I'm pretty sure. I got two names, but I didn't end up calling one because I thought the other girl would help me. I don't remember her name. I don't want to give the wrong name because there was two of them, but I only called one. I did send it in the email. And I also had a question too about the different sheets. Did you want us to put us to fill out that document for the supervisor, or did you want us to fill it out for the different organizations that are the ones who are providing resources that we are going to be collaborating with, if that makes sense?
So with the sheet, it's really for the 5 mental health and the 5 early interventions.
Okay.
But we just still want information about your resource centers, who your contact person, your point of contact was. There's a lady at your resource center. Her name is Lord, Lord. I would highly recommend just calling and asking for her and let her know you're working with Sounds of Autism and work with her. She seems to be the one in charge. We've had some roller coaster rides with that city, and it's really discouraging, to be honest with you, because this is where the boy passed away, the 18-year-old. So that could be part of the purpose. The reason is that they're just, they don't feel like maybe they responded the right way. I don't know. We're not pointing fingers at all. We're just trying to help and support. But everybody has their niche, and if autism doesn't affect their life, this is what a family goes through. So you understand? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And then,
go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Lexi. And then also, Lexi, when you get a chance, if the email that you sent, it should say their name in it. So once you look at that email, then you can get back to us and let us know.
Yeah, I have the name on there and everything. I just
no worries, no worries. And then Lord is a male. It's Lord Garciano.
Okay.
We have Lourdes, we have Lord, we have all kinds of short names.
You have too many Lords.
So we deal with all kinds of people. So awesome.
Perfect.
And did you get a chance?
More question? Oh,
Sure.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is there anything specific that you'd like me to kind of discuss with him?
With Lord, I would just say, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm working with Sounds of Autism, and they're a nonprofit organization. And my mission as a college student is to get to know you, because you will have multiple college students starting now until Sounds of Autism doesn't exist, probably, that will be reaching out to you to continuously look for resources within the city. So I would just kind of introduction. Listen, we're not asking you for anything but 5 minutes of your time to introduce ourselves. We're going to be finding the resources ourselves, but we want to see, because our families, when they move into that city, they're going to call them first. They're not going to call these other people. And if those people are not the right people, then we want to shy away from that and just put other people as the primary to reach out to for that city.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Didn't have any questions about anything. I just thought it was really interesting. I watched a lot of the YouTube videos, and there's this one, I don't know if you guys know his name, Isaac. I'm pretty sure he's worked with you guys before. He was an intern before, and we used to be in psychology club together. I haven't really seen him a lot, but I heard about you guys originally from him through psychology club. And it was really cool. I saw him on the YouTube videos, interviewing people, and that was really cool.
Isaac Berlin, we miss him. He's in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So going back, thank you, Lexi. Going back, so Haley said that I wasn't able to get a hold of Buckeye Resource Center. I'm currently looking for a number. However, I haven't been able to find anything yet. I do believe that there's a resource center in Buckeye, but only one as far as I can see. Yes, there is, and one is yes. The resource is called Buckeye Family Resource Center, also known as the Rec Center. So thank you for sharing that information. Okay, and then Haley, if you have anything about Sounds of Autism or any questions or concerns, please put that in the chat as well. If not, thank you, and let us know if you need anything else. I keep reminding people, phone a friend if you have any questions, including myself and Bernadette, about the next few steps, because we're putting you guys now in front of community action officers or SROs or somebody within the police department that would be the liaison between community and the police department to share our information, as well as the next step after that is the mayor's office administrative assistant. I know that Bernadette will be sending you guys information about the contact people for those particular offices. So that's the other thing, and I think that's a week from now. So you guys still have a little bit of time. Okay, next person.
And then also for you, Haley, you said that it was Buckeye. There is a resource center there. You will have to dig for it because it's actually on a school campus. So I don't recall what the school is, but if you do a little bit more research, I think that you will find it, and feel free to give me a call. And I can give you some more direction with that.
She asked if it was Liberty, and I'm not positive if it is, but I think it was, is it Union, Buckeye Union High School? No?
It's an elementary school. I know it's an elementary school. Yeah, it's an elementary school.
We'll help you with that, Haley.
Okay, moving right along. Okay, let's see. Carlos, how about you, Carlos? How are you today? Do you have a microphone and video?
I do. 1 second.
Take your time.
I had to re-download the app, so it's asking me for all the permissions.
Oh, you're driving. Do you want us to come back to you or are you good?
I'm okay.
Okay, cool. Just promise me you'll keep your eyes on the road.
Yeah.
Oh,
We don't need eye contact. So Carlos, we're just asking how you're, you already knew Sounds of Autism because you had done this with us in the summer, so you kind of know about our organization already. I can tell you that everybody should go back and look at the website because just recently we have it completely updated to be more user friendly, and it has all of our YouTube link topics attached to it. So you can go there, click it, and it'll take you right to YouTube for the different video topics. So I would encourage you to do that because that's in the YouTube is in developing stages, but website's almost done. But we're also asking you about your resource center and just how your experience went with all your investigations this last week.
well, 2 of the 3 contacts that I have, I've gotten an answer back from. One of them is Organization for Autism on Luke, and they said that they actually already worked with you guys quite a bit.
Yes.
So they're aware of everything that's going on. They said that they're in contact with you guys. So I kind of left that one alone.
Yep.
But there is another website. It's another resource on Luke, which is actually station. They're based out of Virginia, but it looks like they work with a lot of the military bases and they gather all the local resources for each of the cities. And,
do you remember what they're called, Carlos?
Not off the top of my head. I do have them in an email.
Okay.
With them, I'm still going back and forth. Trying to get a more specific contact because the only thing I was able to find on their website was their generic information email. However, they are very much interested in finding out more about us. So I'm working on. I'm gonna send them the website, and I'm going to attach your email address in there so that they can have that on record. But I told them about the walk. I told them what we're trying to do. So they're excited to.
That's awesome.
Learn more and possibly send somebody out as a liaison for them.
That's awesome. Good job. And Carlos, if you do have a connection, all of you guys feel free. If people want to meet us personally, feel free to do a virtual introduction between the 2 of us on the behalf of yourself. And then we'll take it from there and set up meetings. You're welcome to join us if you want to, because there's some people, like you said, that military base, if they're out of Virginia, then they serve a lot of people that could really work with us as well for our national and possibly international program as well. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then I'm actually trying to get a hold of, so I emailed 56 supply group that's stationed out of Luke. They're the main unit that supply a lot of the support and a lot of the main resources for all of Luke. And I'm trying to get a hold of their MP unit to try and get them to come out too.
Carlos, let me know if you have any troubles, let me know via email, because my neighbor right across from me, she works out of Luke, and I know I can ask her to help us get us connected if we need to.
Okay.
Good job.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I have his military email, so all that stuff works super slow.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. Good job. I think you did a great job on that.
Awesome. Hey, I have a question for you, Carlos. When you contacted Luke and they said that they're working with us, did they have a warm reception of you?
Did actually. Yes, it was very warm, and like I said, they were quick to let me know. It's like, hey, we've been working with them for a while. We love them. We're aware of the walk, and we're aware of everything else. But thank you for reminding us. Yeah, it was good.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Carlos. Okay, now drive safely. Safer. Okay. Did you have any questions for us? You don't have to
Not
turn
at
your
the
screen
moment.
on. Did you?
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
awesome. And then don't forget that you do have that intake sheet to just complete all the information as well. And I know that some of you emailed us the information, but it would really be helpful if you take that information and transfer it to the intake sheets so that we could save these as PDFs, because then we can stick them in the file for each of the resource centers. Because again, this is going to be an ongoing project and program where we just continue to build on all those resources. So thank you, Carlos. Okay, next up, Oscar. How are you today? Do you have microphone and video for us? I don't know if you might have some technological challenges there. Can't hear you yet, so maybe, oh, let's check the chat.
And Oscar, if you do have challenges, to go ahead and just type everything in the chat and then we can respond. Yep, I can't speak at the moment. My update is that I have watched the videos on YouTube and researched the resource centers, and I'm making the calls tomorrow morning. I apologize for being behind. I misunderstood and was waiting on the list of contacts to reach out. 2 contacts I'm reaching out to is First Things First and Avondale Resource Center. Okay, good. Yep, that's perfect. And do you have any questions, Oscar, on Sounds of Autism or any of that information?
You can stick it in the chat and we will come back and answer them for you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, moving right along. Riley, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good,
Are
thank you.
great.
Good.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
How did it go for you?
At first it was a little bit of a struggle because each time I looked up El Mirage, that's my city, I was coming across Surprise. And then, so I was like, oh, maybe they're like together. But then I looked on the spreadsheet and I saw that someone else was assigned Surprise. So then, like you've just been saying, you just have to like really dig pretty deep. And then that's when I started getting more information. I, like everyone else has been saying, contacted a few people. They didn't get back to me. So then I was like stressing a little bit because I was like, oh man, it's due and no one's contacted me. But then I contacted 4 other places today that I thought would be a good fit. And 2 of them have gotten back to me so far. So one of them, I just contacted the city of El Mirage, and I couldn't find anyone that would be good for contacting. So I just emailed their human resource person because I was like, that would be perfect. Like they would know where to send me. And they sent me Autumn emailed me back, who's the community service manager for that center. And she is very interested. I did email the information, but I was also confused about the intake form. So I'll have to go ahead and enter that and then I'll resend it to you guys. And then I contacted, I'm going to butcher this. I think it's pronounced Dysart Community Center. Okay. And the person I emailed directed me towards a lady named Annie, and she actually just emailed me back about an hour ago. And she's the executive director for the community center, and she's also very interested. She sent me a little bit of a iffy email, not iffy and like she's not interested. She said that she was very interested, but just I'm a little confused on how to go about responding back to her. So I'll have some questions towards the end. But besides that, I think everyone else has answered my questions and it's been going good.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
And good job not giving up and keep looking for those contacts, because that's really what it's about. You know, like Cricket said, these are the types of things that families are going to go through. And I don't know, what is your major? Let me just ask you real quick.
I'm doing health and wellness.
Health and wellness. Okay. So you may run into families, health and wellness, that have children that are on the spectrum. And so to help them find resources, this is what they're going to go through. So thank you for continuing to dig. Let's see. Okay, and you're going to get back to us with your questions, and feel free to forward us. If any of you get emails or starting to respond or connect, feel free to copy us. Cricket, do you want them to blind copy us, or do you want them to regular copy us, or you want to wait? Because I'm thinking copy us.
For
At
what
least
is
blind.
it for Bernadette? What did you have them copy?
Whoever they end up contacting, like for example, Riley said that she had made contact, and I think you said through email, Riley, correct? So Riley has already had some communication through email, and I know that Lexi, who was the other student that had contact through email? I forget. There was somebody else that had contact through email, but do you want them to copy us on those? Because, or you want to wait?
This is what I'd like. When you guys are required to send in your information, whether it's your like somebody just asked about intake sheets, so I'm responding to that. Your intake sheets should be used for every conversation you have with somebody over the phone. And the reason why is because we want documentation to remind you, because as you're talking to people, you're going to go, okay, now wait, I think this, and we don't want it to be a think, we have to know, because resources, we have to know if they're capable of doing certain things. And if we think, we don't really know. So I want you guys to have that confidence, because sometimes people are like, well, I don't really know the name. Well, if you had intake sheets in front of you right now, you'd be able to remember those things. So it's more for your own benefit, but it also teaches you to document things and write things down. That's part of the training that we're trying to give you. This is for your careers. As you're having conversations with employees, as you're having conversations with managers or customers or clients, if you're not documenting things and you go, well, I think they said, that's not going to work in court. That's not going to work in a conversation. If you have a sales that you're closing sales to educator and you're trying to talk to a parent, well, I think your child said this, those things aren't going to work. So it's just a good habit to create now. And that's really what we're trying to see is who are the ones that are really utilizing their tools. And sometimes it's the people that have the experience that they've been through something kind of bad and they're like, I'm documenting everything. I over communicate because I want to make sure that people understand. And then if we have to go backwards, it's easier to do that than to say, I had all this missing information. So again, if you guys are reading stuff and it doesn't make sense, just realize that if it doesn't make sense to you, it probably doesn't make sense to a lot of people. We want to hear that feedback. That's part of this whole thing. And at your age, I remember when I was your age, I don't really remember, but I kind of remember. And I remember that I didn't really know all these things and I had to learn the hard way. So we're kind of teaching you this type of stuff is communication, picking up the phone and having a conversation with somebody that you've never spoke to before. And especially if they're not having a good day and they make you feel uncomfortable, how do you turn, lemons into lemonade? Like that's really kind of what we're trying to do is teach you all of these different things so that when you get out into the career world, that you're not walking into a job and not really understanding that this is part of the things that they're going to ask you for. This is the type of what the expectations of the job is, are going to be. So we want to educate you now. And that's part of what Bernadette and I are doing with this. It's not just helping us, but we want to help you as well, if that makes sense. So thank you for doing that.
Thanks, Riley. And on that note, real quick, I just want to share, remember that it's okay to be uncomfortable. Just think about all the other, I'm uncomfortable sometimes when I call them and they make me feel uncomfortable and I don't get a warm reception. But that's again why we want for our volunteers and interns to contact them and for you to help us grade them with green, yellow, or red. So on that note, after we go through these questions and stuff, I would love for you to put down the name of the resource center that you were assigned, or the city rather, the city that you were assigned. And then at this point, if it's a green, yellow, or red, and I just wanted to throw that out there so that I don't forget to mention that. But if you are uncomfortable, let them know you're uncomfortable. Say, hey, this is my first time I'm doing this. I'm hoping that you can help me because I'm going to be helping families. And if, if I can't find it, how am I going to help them? So don't be afraid to tell them that you need their help, and then they should be more eager to help you. So now we're going to move. Go ahead.
Yes, I was going to say, we have a couple more, Bernadette?
Yep.
Okay,
Gisela, Teresa, and Tylee. And first I'm going to go with Gisela. Gisela, you got video and mic. I know that this is your first time joining us, so welcome. And if you,
Hello.
there we go.
Hey, how
Hi
are you?
there. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We are good. Have you had a
Yeah.
chance to take a look at any of our resources that we provided to get a better idea of who we are and what our mission is, what our vision is?
Yes, I have looked over it. I'm still waiting to be assigned to a city, but I have been looking over the information.
I will assign you a city after this meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so wonderful. So, and I know you're going to have a lot of questions afterwards, so feel free to contact me even by email. And then for all of you here, if you are trying to access our recordings and you're unable to, please let me know so that I could send it to you in a different format because like Brenda said, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So thank you. Gisela, do you have any questions at this point?
Not at the moment. After I look over more information, then I'll contact you with
Perfect.
better
Thank you.
questions.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to move on to Teresa. How's Miss Teresa today? We had a chance to talk.
Hello. Yes, we did. So I had the Phoenix. I also had one of the Phoenix. I had the Burton Bar Central Library. I had a little bit of difficulties as well. I did get a bit of a late start. I was just a little bit confused about the timeline. But I did reach out to them, and the lady that I was able to reach at the library, she wasn't very helpful, and I kind of just asked like for resources, who I could contact, and she's just like, oh, just go to the website on the page, and in the question information, just send in like a message. And I didn't know if she didn't really understood what I was asking. So then I did reach out to First Things First. I looked up, I got a little tip, and I looked up like the resource center for Phoenix, and that's when I got in touch with First Things First. And I spoke with Melvia Sanchez. And she told me that they are the resource center in Burton Bar and that they have 4 other locations. And so she let me know about the different locations there. She told me that they're set up again in the Burton Bar Central Library in the first floor. And she did mention that they do birth to 5. So she gave me a little bit of information. She did say that they don't necessarily have like a resource list because it's kind of when families come in, they ask for certain things and that's how they send off their resources. So they don't have a list, but she said that she could send me like a brochure. That way families knew how to get in contact with them and what type of services that they would be able to like refer to. She says that they work closely with Southwest Human Development and some of the Head Start schools. But she said that, again, she had that brochure and that she had a list that they've been trying to collect. So she said that she would look for that and she would send that over to me. So I'm waiting to get the email. So we were able to speak, and then she was able to just send me a message and let me know that she didn't have a chance today, so she would be emailing that over hopefully tomorrow. So that's why I didn't have a chance to send you guys that information because I didn't have anything from her yet. But she just gave me that information. And then she mentioned that to collaborate because they are trying to find more resources for autism. And so she said they would be interested in collaborating with you guys. So I just mentioned when she sent me an email, I can provide that information to you guys.
And we didn't ask you guys to invite the resource centers to the meeting that we're hosting, but I would encourage you to do that because one, it gets them to know who we are. And we're working with one of the government agencies who's providing early intervention information to these resources. And then as we're doing this type of stuff, every time we do it, every semester, we'll bring in new resources for our resource people to meet the best mental health and behavioral health people that we know of, the best, resources for ABA therapy or whatever it may be. And so now people are starting to meet others and they're expanding their knowledge and their awareness. So thank you for doing that. And Teresa, did you have any questions about Sounds of Autism or anything that we're doing?
No, I don't think so. I was able to look over the information, so I didn't have any questions. But I did want to throw something out there for I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, that had the city of Buckeye. I do know one of the assistant coordinators at the resource center in Buckeye. So if you need to phone a friend, I'm here and I can help you get in contact. And the resource center is actually by Buckeye Elementary School.
Good for you. Thank you, Teresa. Nice job.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, Tylee, you're up.
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
We are great.
Okay.
What city did you have and how did things go?
I had Avondale,
Okay.
and actually things went really well. I got in contact with Jezreel Ramirez,
Yep.
who is the resource center coordinator over there, and she seemed so nice. I talked to her over email, but I could just tell she seems like a really great person.
Did you say has Jezreel is who you
Mhm.
connected with? Just so you know, Jezreel is a male.
Oh, really?
Just so you know. I
Jezreel.
wanted to let you know in advance, so you don't call it a Mrs. or a Mr.
Yeah.
Or I mean a Miss.
Yes. Oh, okay. Awesome. Good to know. Yeah. That's
Great.
downside of contacting
job.
through email.
That's okay.
Anyways, he sent me a list of all the resources that I could have needed. I got the 4 different contacts for this resource center, which was great. The police leadership contact, all the mayor contact, everything that we were looking for. He was great.
See, the resource center should be able to provide that. So you guys,
Yeah.
that's a good tip to go back to your resource center. Gives you another opportunity to connect with those people and ask them to connect you with your CAOs, SROs, or your mayor's admin. I wouldn't go for the mayor unless they're willing to give it to you, but the mayor's admin or city council member. That would be awesome. Good job. Good job on that.
Yeah. And I was looking into a lot of their like stuff they offer to families, and they actually do have a lot of good stuff with the Avondale Family Education and Resource Program. A lot of good stuff. Yeah.
They
We
actually
love them.
Yeah, I was going to say they actually have a very well-rounded, a comprehensive list of different things from
Yeah.
mental and behavioral, they even do early intervention screenings. You
Yep,
know,
yeah, I just saw that. I
we're
was
trying to
looking at
get all the resource centers to do early intervention screening because everybody's traveling from Surprise and other cities to go get that because it's free of charge, 0 to 4,
Yeah.
up until they're 5. So
So
Cricket.
guys, we have 15 minutes and I want to be,
That's
aware
okay.
of your time, but I do want to go over a few things. First of all, thank you all for everything you're doing. You have no idea how rewarding this will be for families. When my son got sick, it was a lot of devastation, a lot of stress and anxiety for everybody involved. And to be able to provide something like this, especially during crisis, and have it all figured out, you're forcing people to step up their game. And that could be part of the frustration of the phone call, the person on the other side, is because you're asking them questions. And if people don't know an answer, they don't like to fail. People just don't fail. They don't want to fail. And I always tell my managers when I'm managing people, I have to teach you to fail before I can teach you to succeed. And failure is the worst place to go. And it's the horrible feeling, but I want you to feel it because when you feel it, you don't want to go back there. So it forces you to continue looking for troubleshooting and things like that. But this entire program was written for you to realize that when you become a leader in your community, that you're going to have to seek out help or support for people that work with you, work for you, family members that need help. That's compassion and empathy. And that's just something that you may not even want to do it. But if you're walking down the street and you're the only person there, you have to do it. And if you choose to turn your back, well, you got to answer for that one day, and that's just the way we look at it. But when it comes to being a parent, what we're trying to educate is, first of all, hopefully you'll see the signs way before 5 years old, maybe even before 3 now, because you are this educated about it by the time you're done. But we also want you to understand what a parent will have to go through by picking up the phone and starting to, where do I start? Who do I even ask? How do I know? You know, Hezriel, I don't know how to say his name. Hezriel, Bernadette does very well with this. She always helps me roll my tongue or whatever it may be. But that person is so welcoming and open and so aware of his resources that he's somebody that honestly, with some of the things that you guys had to go through, he would be the one I'd be like, well, just forget about them, go to him. But what's horrible about that is we never fix the problem if we avoid it. And we never fix the problem if we don't hold people accountable. And right now, none of these cities, for the taxes and the amount of growth that's going on in the West Valley region, there's no reason that we don't have resources in every single city. There's no reason for it, but people aren't forcing it. They're not pushing for it. They're not thinking outside the box. And I think that the work that we're doing, at least we can give them something to be able to respond. But I feel like just hearing some of the things that you guys are saying, we've been in contact with all of the mayors from January to March. And we're hearing now that people are actually doing more and they're doing things. They want to create programs and job and workforce development and all those things. They weren't doing that before. They had sensory rooms on 4th of July. They were never doing those types of things. So if that's the impact that we're making by letting people know this is what we're going to be doing in your city and this is their response to it, then we're making impact. We're making things happen. And I think that if you just called the resource center and said, my name is Cricket Barrientos, I'm the founder of Sounds of Autism, and I'm here just to introduce myself. I'm not asking you for anything. If you'd like to help me with this project, great, but that's not what we're asking for. I just want you to know who I am and the school that's representing your city. If they want to offer more, they're going to be so kind to you. But if they're like just wanting to get off the phone, then that tells you exactly how they're going to treat our families. And if that's how they're going to treat our families, give them a yellow, give them a red, so that we either go back to them and say, you were rated a red because of this. We want you to be better than that. Are you willing to work with us? If they say no, then we know, okay, then your support person, everybody we will send to, they're all going to go to this location, and that's who we're going to send our families to, or we're just going to send them out of your city and go somewhere else. And we have to do that. And we're not doing it to be jerks. We're not doing it to be, political, none of those things. We're doing it because we know when a family's in crisis, mom's crying, dad's angry, and the child is in some type of critical situation. And because we didn't respond properly, we lost somebody this year. He lost his life. And it could have been avoided for many, 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 many years. It could have been avoided, but it wasn't. And so I believe that that's a reminder. And I look at that, to be honest with you, as a loss on our organization, that we did not respond correctly. And I know it's not our fault, but at the same time, that's what we're being funded to do, is bring more awareness and help support to integrate kids safely into a platform. So we eat it. And I share that with you because that's how critical this is. And I know you guys are young and you're just beginning to, like, some of you are still living with mom and dad and you're not there yet. But I know that there's going to be a point in your life where that transition is going to happen. You're going to start wanting to have families. You're going to want to get jobs, all those things. And you're going to realize that what we're teaching you right now is a valuable lesson that you'll never forget for the rest of your lives. So I just appreciate everything that you guys are doing. And Brenda, we would love to have you share next.
Well, I really don't have a lot to share other than please always continue to ask questions. And I'm so grateful when I'm getting emails and questions, because I keep offering that, and I absolutely mean it. And I was helping another student who isn't here tonight, but she was really feeling pretty lost. And I said, okay, so now go out to your city site, search for these keywords, and then, search for resources, look for a list, look for housing, look for crisis, look for that. And so hopefully I helped guide her a little bit, but you're just going to have to really dig, I think. In some places, like oops, Avondale, it's real obvious and easy and it's wonderful, but in some places it's not. So don't be afraid to dig and just think outside the box. Start really digging and searching and surf your way through it.
And it's okay if you don't get it right away, fail to success. We only learn from the things that we aren't able to do at first, and that's okay. Because as much as this pilot program is about helping us through an internship or your service learning, this is really about you. This is about mentoring you, our future generation, our future leaders, our future parents. And we want to empower you so that you can go out there and who knows, maybe one of these resource centers or resources in that resource center that you connect with, how do you know that's not going to be a job opportunity in the next couple of years or even starting now? Who knows if you can't get a volunteer position with them in your area of discipline. So it's about building relationships as well. So keep that in mind to build relationships. I do want to remind you that to check out the PowerPoint, even if you can't read or hear the recording and you can't access it, the PowerPoint will tell you everything you need to do. If it's not clear, pick up a phone and call me. Sometimes an email takes too long and I get so many emails, or pick up a phone and call Cricket, whoever's phone number you have. Call us, ask us those questions because the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? The one that asks the questions is the one that's going to get, because chances are the same question you have, everybody else has as well. So please don't hesitate and keep in mind, we want you, like Cricket said, it's really important that you take as many notes as possible and don't forget to write down all this time goes on your timesheet for your instructor, because at the end, we're going to ask you for your input on this pilot program and what we could have done better to support you. Maybe there wasn't something that could have been presented more clearly. So please know that we're here to serve you as well. Cricket, anything else?
I have nothing else, you guys. Brenda, thank you for all the support you give us and supporting your students and everybody. And guys, just keep doing what you're doing. There's no, it's okay to fail. We're good with that. If you have issues, we're okay with that. Please do one thing though, please. When you go back to your next two steps, really, you guys have the CAO, SRO, and they may redirect you. Who's the best facilitator for information? So as we're getting this information, who would we give this to facilitate out into their mail so that everybody in the department, all these departments, especially Phoenix, they have 7, I think, different precincts. We need it to go through interdepartment mail so everybody receives the information. I have officers calling me while they're on the call and the families in crisis asking me for solutions. If they could just go to our website and click a button, that would help everybody. So those are the types of things that we're trying to create. So having that information in the hands of those people is very, very important, as well as you have your mayor's administrative assistants, because these mayors are very busy, but their admins will be the messenger for you. And then right after that, you guys go 5 resources early intervention, and the week after that is 5 resources mental and behavioral health. But as you're doing that, they're going to tell you a bunch of other stuff. Write it all down. Everything's important to us, but don't forget, grade them. If they're good, yellow, green, red. You know what I mean? Or green, yellow, red. We want to make sure we know so that we make sure that we endorse the right people. And then the next time we meet is going to be the fun time, because you guys get to nominate the people that you think deserve awards or recognition so that we can get out in the community and start rewarding and recognizing these people for their performance. So great job. We have 3 minutes left. I'm good. Brenda, if you don't have anything, or Bernadette, we're done for the evening.
Everybody all good? Okay.
Thank you guys. Have a great
Awesome.
night. We'll see you soon.
I'm going to leave this up for just a moment longer if you haven't had a chance to put your city assigned and the color that it is. But you guys can log off when you're done. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice